It is man. Fuck you, Dan.
You're goddamn right.
Let's see. We are on live. Audio working, connection stable. Ahoy, out my junk. Welcome, my name is Ike. This is TAGN, the Angry Game News. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 p.m. I try to talk about video games, and particularly about video games. We have some movie news sometimes and some TV show stuff. And today it's more or less about this guy here, Brian Fleming from Sucker Punch. Well, he is not so much anymore from Sucker Punch. He is leaving that company. We have also some women talk, women in video games. So yeah, that's going to be also probably interesting, actually. I saw this article very late. It came in today, so... And I'm not going to read the whole article, but it's kind of interesting how the women still try to portray themselves as the kind of the victims in the gaming field, working in the gaming field or making money in the gaming field, whatsoever. Mentioning Gamergate, which was 10 years ago. And yes, it was a mess. It's still a mess, and they still didn't got it what they should change. They try to force all the women stuff on us. Suckered out. Yeah. I have my thoughts about this guy. But before we come to him, let's just check out the rest of the news. Ubisoft acquires upcoming MOBA March of Giants from Amazon Game Studios, rehires former Ubisoft Montreal dev team. MOBA is a multiplayer online battle arena. So it's just co-op versus another team. Ubisoft has announced it has acquired the upcoming MOBA March of Giants, including a Montreal-based dev team headed by a number of veteran ex-Ubisoft developers from previous owner Amazon Game Studios. The news follows significant cutbacks to Amazon's game publishing business as part of a global reduction in headcount. Terms of the deal were not disclosed. And I don't remember that Amazon was big in the layoffs, not like Microsoft and other bigger corporations there. But yes, they want to save some money. Despite what everybody thinks, like Amazon has infinite amount of money and Apple has infinite amount of money. No, that's not true. They still are bound to some degree to the market, you know. They have a lot of money, but they have not infinite amount. March of Giants was announced in September of this year and recently completed as a closed alpha. In a press release announcing the acquisition, Ubisoft said the team were currently preparing the next large-scale update, which will introduce new giants, expanded competitive modes, and foundational systems designed to support long-term growth. Yeah, long-term growth, my ass, Ubisoft. I don't know how much they paid for this acquisition here. And Ubisoft said, like, yeah, the era of single-player campaign game is kind of over. Everybody is into live service game, despite of the failures they had in their own company there the whole time. Despite Bungie bought up by Sony not doing well with Destiny 2 and Marathon, which we have news about that today too. Not really people getting excited about that either. Ubisoft just doesn't seem to see the signals of the people, of the market itself, like what's happening, what is really appreciated, you know, by the players, by the gamers. They seem not to see it, but they try to do more live service game, and this time they're gonna do it right. Trust me, bro. Long-term growth here with another live service game. The news follows Amazon's decision in October to lay off 14,000 workers across its wider business, which was attributed to shifting the resources to ensure we are investing in our biggest bets, and resulted in a significant job losses at its studios in Irvine and San Diego. The company's largest MMO, New World, subsequently announced it would receive no further updates. Yeah. By the way, they spent about $1 billion on New World with the acquisition of it, with the developing of it, with the giveaways of it in some ways. When you get Amazon Prime, you had some periods where you get the game for free. It is a game where you can play maybe, I don't know, for a month, every day a little bit, which is fun to explore the area, do a little bit dungeon crawling with a little team and all that. But it really doesn't have a lot of material to it. It got very, very quickly boring to me. That's not a chura, is it? No. That's a bassoon, the instrument, bassoon. But in German, it's called Fagott. And yeah, you know the word. So that's how we circumvent certain terms here. I am family friendly here. Oh, I met mediocre gamer girl. It's a bassoon, but it's a fagott. So if you want to insult me or anybody in the chat, just use the fagott. Anyway, hi, lurking while working. Do that. So yeah, either I forgot that Amazon laid off since October, or now we got more news about it in this side news, kind of. But 14,000 people laid off is not a small number, just saying. You're going to save a lot of monies by those layoffs. And now Ubisoft tries to hype up people with this new title. It looks okay, like just visually, but it's nothing special. In the end, it's another generic co-op PvP game, an arena game, just like the other one that was announced at the Game Awards. What was it called? High Guard or something like that. It looked visually nice, everything looks polished, but after all, it looks and felt so far in the trailer like a very generic, yeah, we're going to go into this arena and kill each other and pretend we're going to be so super happy. So super happy. The Destiny games never appealed to me. I got it, I think, for free when it was still in the hands of Blizzard Activision, It was in the Blizzard Activision Battle.net launcher. Played it for a while because it was free for me at that time. Up-leveled my character there for a while, and then I missed like the time period when Sony bought up Bungie, and you had still like a chance to just transfer your data to the new place. But yeah, whatever. After all, you don't miss a lot, in my opinion. Oi, Supersonic! Oi, Haste! What's up? Never mind, just putting out fires at work. What? What fires? Speaking of Bungie finally confirms a marathon release date and $40 price point. The last news on Marathon about the release was indefinitely. We don't know when we're gonna release it. We need to polish. We heard the people. The people were not super happy, and they had this issue with the stolen, plain, just simple copyright infringement, just using assets of an artist that had no idea that the assets were used. But I think that was not the week before, when I or maybe the last week. I told about that, they finally figured it out. She was happy. It seems that they settled things. And now everything seems to be all right for Bungie, meaning Sony. And now they're going to tell us when it's going to be released. The pair announced on Monday that Marathon will release in March 2026 for PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC, and at the target price of $39.99, $40, with additional regional pricing to be announced. According to Bungie, Marathon will feature no pay-to-win mechanics, and players will have access to all gameplay updates, maps, runner shells, events, etc., with an additional reward pass that won't expire. I mean, I guess it's fair priced. I don't think you're going to make any money on it, Sony. I think people had seen enough of this game. It looks boring as fuck, really. It has zero appeal to me, at least. It looks like a generic Android versus Android extraction shooter. Why, man? Why you even bother at this point? But I guess $40 is at least like a little bit easier to swallow for certain fans of Bungie, of the company, Bungie. So they might invest in $40, have a little bit fun. But the other really issue here is a March release. You know, GTA 6 has not been delayed so far. They are still gonna stick, as for this time being, on the March release. You're gonna sell shit, man. Why March? Why don't you polish your game even a little bit more, or put a little bit more workforce in it and release it earlier? Like, I don't fucking know, man. It's so weird to me. It's just weird to me. I would have said like maybe late April would be a better release date, so that everybody who wants GTA and still likes shooter like this one here still go back, you know, from GTA then to the new one. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. Just very weird. Oi, Bentley. I'll join you for this overly feminine stream. No pussies here. I mean, according to the chat, we have one female here, but she's working and lurking. Neon colors in combat is always a good idea. Reminder, grab the original Marathon Classic games for the free on Steam. Can you? Let me check that out right now. You don't see it on the screen, but I'm just wondering. Marathon. Classic Marathon 2, and Classic Marathon Infinity. Kostenlos, which means free of charge. I'm gonna admit I never liked those really old school 3D shooters. I was not a fan of 3D Wolfenstein, or how you should pronounce it, Wolfenstein. Doom. Never was fans of those old school graphics mainly. I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. But yes, I don't know about the neon colors, if that's what repels me. Ouch, my junk. I think it's the combination of neon colors and androids. You could make the androids badass. You don't need to make them like looking like toys. And they look, in every aspect, they look like toys. I just can't take it serious. I played these on Macintosh. Eric is not a man of culture. Which Eric? With huge thanks to our incredible community, we've been able to playtest and gather feedback to ensure that we're building Marathon with our players in mind. Maybe you do that. Maybe that's why you delayed it multiple times. Still, I think this game is going to be dead on arrival, mainly because of the release date now. I just really don't think that was a smart decision for March. Call me a retard. I mean, you can call me that anyway, but I think it was not smart in that decision. April would have been better. Whether you were with us back in April for our first alpha or you're just joining us now, there's a rich world full of lore and loot for you to discover when your cybernetics biosynthetic shell takes its first steps into our new world. I mean, it could be maybe gameplay-wise amazing. I don't know. Nobody really knows that. But if it doesn't do it like visually, at least like a little bit for people, they just will not care. But yeah, there you go. Now finally we have a release in March. Ike is a baby. Baby Ike is long dead. No more baby. Darn autocorrect. I like the first trailer, but it didn't show gameplay. No, the first player did also show gameplay, but only like very small snippets. And you see that it is gameplay in the newer trailers. But yes, I mean, if you like games like that, $40 is at least like kind of a very fair price. Now, this is an interesting news, especially if you maybe had it back in the days, if you're old enough. Lost Sega channel games saved in the latest VGHF project. Over 140 ROMs from Sega's long-defunct Sega channel, including service-exclusive games that were thought lost to time and never before published prototypes, have now been recovered thanks to the latest efforts of the Video Game History Foundation. Sega Channel launched in 1994 and was one of the first subscription-based digital game services, beaming new games and content directly to players' consoles through a television cable. The service shut down in 1998, and since then many of the exclusive games and content available on the service were thought to be gone forever. I never had it from me in Switzerland. I think it was not a thing. I think because it was over cable, so Sega needed to partner up with the cable companies. Despite in Switzerland we had not a lot of cable companies actually, but almost every household had access to cable TV, you know, because socialism, you know, we all paid for it together. For the whole infrastructure. But Sega needed to go to the cable companies and make a deal and somehow insert the signal into this whole system. And the system itself was analog, but the signal then received was digital, and at the end in the Sega channel. It was more a thing mainly in Japan and the US. That is until the Video Game History Foundation embarked on a quest to see the channel's unique history and its content preserved. The result is 144 new ROMs that have been preserved, a new VGHF digital library collection that includes Shorrock's personal notes and presentations shedding light on the service, and an unannounced successor service called Express Games. And a documentary, Don't Just Watch TV, The Secrets of Sega Channel, which can be viewed on YouTube. As part of its efforts, VGHF acquired a collection of ROMs that included some rare prototypes and games, including a never before seen Sega Genesis web browser and previously undubbed game variants of Sega Channel exclusive games like Garfield, Caught in and Act, The Lost Levels, and The Flintstones. And that was like the unique thing with it. Because you had a subscription with Sega, they gave you something very exclusive. Certain games or extra levels to certain games. But still, like back then, you didn't have a lot of RAM in this one device that you connected to your Sega Genesis console. Meaning the ROM, no, it wasn't a ROM. It was just a RAM. I think when you turned it completely off, the console, everything was lost, and you needed to re-download a lot of stuff. But that was the main business: subscription, exclusive stuff. Also included in the files are previously unpreserved Sega Channel versions of games like Super Street Fighter 2, which saw content removed in order to fit with Sega Channel's file size limit. Other games on the service that were linear in nature were essentially split down the middle to fit within the file size limit, with users needing a password to access the second half of the game. These split versions, as well as various test drive versions of games like Earthworm Jim and The Lost World Jurassic Park that allowed Sega Channel players to play before their official release, have also been preserved. So even like early access stuff, isn't that fun? The project to preserve Sega Channel is just one of VGHF's success stories this year, with the foundation previously announcing the launch of the free-to-access digital resource library for historians, researchers, and fans that include more than 30,000 files from across 50 years of video game history. As usual, all the links of every article I talk about today are down below. And I think you should check this out. Especially when you're a fan of retro stuff, especially when you're maybe had actually this service. Might be very, very cool to see like certain extremely exclusive stuff and stuff that was thought gone for good because the service was shut down 27 years ago, and I don't know how they gathered everything. Maybe some consoles were like having some special memory. It's just interesting overall. Very cool. It is very cool. Contra Hard Corps. Never played Contra. I mean, I started Contra a few times. Nice gesture by Sega. Hey, I don't know how much say Sega themselves had, because the like 140 ROMs, many companies are involved in this. The question is how legal all that is actually. But maybe they can declare it as a museum, as a preservation, and you have no other means to get to those certain ROMs. Who knows? I don't know about the legality of all that. Or naughty. But I think it's a nice thing that some people, really game fans in the Video Games History Foundation, put a lot of effort in such a project. Do you like good-looking women? Do you like sexy women? Or are you gay? Because Ethan Gach, the writer of this article, is probably very gay, and he tells us through this article that he is gay. It's a weird method to fucking coming out, but yeah, whatever. Lords of the Fallen 2, Death promises sexy women, but fans just want better Souls-like gameplay. Sure. I mean, yes, better gameplay is always nice, but guess what? Guess what, Ethan Gach? I still don't know how you pronounce this family name. Normal men actually like good-looking female characters in games. Just saying, man. It's not like a secret to humanity. Oh, it did. I like toasted marshmallow. Don't know what that means. Lords of the Fallen 2 won't have a political agenda, but it will have hot women. That's according to the director of the studio behind the sequel, who is busy with culture war dog whistles, while fans just want a new Souls-like that learns from the mistakes of the previous games. Many of you asked why the game initially had body type A and B. CI Game CEO Marek Tymiński posted on X to no one in particular over the weekend. Hexworks started early 2020 as an autonomous studio owned by CI Games. Early on, political correctness and filtering meant not every decision reached me on time. I got a lot more involved from late 2024 and now act as head of the studio alongside my CEO role. Things are very different now and the studio got fully integrated. We reverted a lot of wrong decisions and will continue improving. Lords 2 is being built on real player feedback and it's crystal clear in the last 2 trailers. I'm gonna buy the game, definitely, wrote back one ex-user. Will there be attractive female characters and will there be revealing outfits and armor for them? Tymiński simply responded with yes. I mean, it's a simple yes and no question, so good on him. Lords of the Fallen arrived in 2023 and was technically a successor to the game of the same name that had already released nearly a decade before that. It launched to divisive reviews and harsh initial reception on Steam due to part to PC performance woes. I played the original. I didn't like it. It was just not mine. I never liked Souls-like game too much. Especially very Souls-like game and the Lord of Fallen is very Souls-like. It's just more like Nordic themed. But yeah. How about the little booby tassels that spin? Little booby tassels that spin? I don't know nothing about that. Will there be titty? Bill Hicks. Did he say that? Now to the part where Ethan Gach shows that he is very gay actually and hates just boobies, tits, women, good-looking women. It's a neat turnaround story, in other words, and the game well worth trying out for Souls-like sickos who have been holding off. So it's unfortunate that CI Games' hard work keeps getting overshadowed by an outspoken anti-PC police boss who seems to think it's courageous in 2025 to promise your fans more in-game boobies. Yeah, tell me you're gay without telling me you're gay, Ethan. It's so weird. Like he is focusing like, yeah, the game is actually so fun, but why do we need also good-looking woman in it? What's wrong with this guy? Holy crap! Stupid people are stupid. Side note: Hollow Knight Silksong Sea of Sorrow DLC revealed. Hollow Knight Silksong, very successful. It didn't cost a lot, and a small indie studio makes a lot of money, and I'm glad for them. It's not my game. It's like stylish, but not my style. I try to get in, but for some reason I can't. Just visually, it's not my thing. Hollow Knight Silksong has just revealed brand new DLC, which is known as Sea of Sorrow. Team Cherry is prepping it for 2026 debut. Sea of Sorrow will feature new areas, bosses, tools, and more. Team Cherry teases Hornet's adventure continue in our nautically themed expansion, coming free for all players next year. We'll keep further details secret for now, but expect additional info shortly before Hollow Knight Silksong Sea of Sorrow releases. And I think that's a good move by Team Cherry, by the developer and publisher here. The game is successful. They make money with it. People like it. It's not woke or anything like that. It's very, very unique in its own ways. And because of the success, they give you something additionally for free. They don't charge you. They see like the fans are there and they want to please the fans and they want to keep the fans accompanied with new content here. And good move. Same goes like for what we saw just recently, Expedition 33. Won awards all over the places. Many awards winner, Expedition 33. And they give you also more content for free. I mean, good move. Just good move. People are going to be happy and they probably going to buy your new game, whatever comes out. Just because you don't piss the players off. We need horny hags. No. One that makes you want to run away. I mean, I'm not going to buy Lords of Fallen, so horny hags or not. Disappointment as PS2 all-timer Soul Calibur 3 launches on PS5, PS4 without trophies. I mean, do you need trophies? Is that why you play a beat-em-up game? Bandai Namco seems to be one of the few publishers willing to entrust its catalog to Sony's emulation efforts, but to catch is its titles are launching without trophies. PS2 fighting game all-timer Soul Calibur 3, which is absolutely superb, despite its legacy being overshadowed by its immediate predecessor, is the latest title to launch cleaned up on PS5 and PS4. But yet again, there are no gongs to unlock. The release is included with PS Plus Premium or can be purchased a la carte for $9.99. Yeah, not so many nines, Mr. Hitler, but $9.99. I mean, the fair price, I guess. I wonder how good the emulation is going to be. I don't know. Never played the third installment. Maybe I should try it. But yes, I love Soul Age, like the original on arcades and PS1, or how it's called in certain regions, Soul Blade. Very good game. Very unique. You have like a campaign. I think it was, for me at least, the first beat 'em up game that had kind of a story, a campaign, and you could like gather new weapons, ultimate weapons, and all such like. Which was just unique, you know. I don't know how good Soul Calibur 3 is, but overall, it's still a beat 'em up. I couldn't care less for trophies missing. If I played maybe the original, $10, kind of a fair price. If you have even PS Plus Premium, you can have it for free. Good move there overall. I'll check it out, but I hate that how easy it is to break blocks in Soul Calibur 3. The TAGN in fiction of Soul Calibur. Oh yes, Soul Blade. Soul Calibur 1 is great on Dreamcast. Yeah, because it was visually Soul Calibur on Dreamcast. I think it was actually an exclusive for a time being, maybe a year or something. Then when Dreamcast was not produced anymore, they said like, well, whatever, let's produce it for other consoles. But yes, visually just something outstanding back then, and still it looks good. But yes, if you're a fan of this franchise, you can have it. The PS2 version on PS4 and 5 for $10. Good move there, but I'm not crying about the trophies. I just find trophies actually, in many regards, annoying. If it doesn't show you like a real achievement, something very unique. I never was a trophy hunter though. 3:45 a.m. Hey, ahoy Eden. Soul Calibur 3 was multi-platform with unique characters for each system. Link for GameCube. Yes, and on Xbox it was Spawn, I think. I think it was Spawn. Pretty sure it was Spawn. Counter-Strike 2's Halo 3 mods shut down by Microsoft. Microsoft was not pleased with this one, which I find strange, but whatever. In November, a modder going by the name of Frodo Yo released Project Mysteria, which used Valve's Counter-Strike 2 as a medium to recreate Halo 3. The mod was well received by fans, but apparently not by Microsoft itself. Microsoft filed a takedown request with Valve, and the latter complied. Frodo Yo described Project Mysteria as a workshop collection of Halo-ported maps and assets that aims to bring a Halo 3 multiplayer-like experience to Counter-Strike 2. It also directly lifted characters, models, maps, gameplay mechanics, and sound effects from Halo 3, which may have contributed to Microsoft's desire to have the mod removed. And Frodo Yo said on X here, well, sorry guys, but the Project Mysteria is done. It was fun while it lasted. Make sure to give your thanks to Microsoft. Yeah, I guess Frodo Yo is not very happy about that. But there are ways to share certain mods. You know, not on official channels. And I think it deserves to be viewed a little bit. Let's make sure we are on the highest resolution here. I never played like multiplayer Halo 3. And this is all actually like the engine is Counter-Strike 2. Everything like gameplay wise is Counter-Strike 2. The weapons, the movement. You just see visually that the textures are like simple, like very harsh lines and all that. Counter-Strike 2 totally. It's Halo. I think it's an amazing job, you know? They didn't took any money from anybody. They did all that in their free time. Investing all that knowledge.
Double kill. Triple kill.
In a very good looking mod. If you don't want to give Microsoft any money, but still want to play Halo multiplayer, this mod would have been for you. Oh, Missouri boy, my little bro. Haven't seen him for a while. Everybody who I actually like, ignoring me. Where have you been, bitch? Steam Workshop made it easy. I had it on my Arc Linux system, but I never played the maps. You want to see damaged doorways with horny hags offering toasted marshmallow? I don't know why you keep on going on the hags. But yes, say thanks to Microsoft. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, because when you load textures in from characters directly into a different mod, into a different system, into a different game, pretty much. And those assets are all copyrighted by you. You might want some, I don't know, some license fees, some revenue on your part, right? But still, it's the mod community trying to offer players more. And Microsoft is like, nah, we are not gonna make any money on this. Heck, fucking no. Weird. Working, man. Weekends are for housework. Weekdays are for government tarts. Everybody blame Beers for being a government tart himself. I have 20 minutes still. I have to do another interview, something like 70th interview for this position. I can do it. I can just talk to people all day long. Give me money for that. Microsoft is retarded, maybe because it would compete with Halo Infinite. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's more like for hardcore fans who like to stay in Counter-Strike 2, because you need still to load up the game, I assume, Counter-Strike 2, and then the mod in it. But you still want maybe something new. You know what I mean? I don't think it would have competed really with any Halo franchise directly. It would have just looked good. Microsoft is retarded. I'd pay for someone to do interviews for me if I could. Yeah, just route them over to me. I can talk to them. I'm just gonna decline all of them. Nah, you don't fit with us, buddy. You don't fit with us. Where's Ball of Tennis? That's gonna piss him off most. He's a big Fallout New Vegas fan, you know. And this is gonna touch New Vegas. Fallout Season 2 gets new release date, and you can now watch it imminently. Yeah, they actually not delayed it, but like pulled it ahead of its original release. I think it was only 1 or 2 days, but still, they are so confident they needed to do that for some odd reason. You can watch the premiere episode of Fallout's second season sooner than expected, as Amazon has announced it's moving the release forward by a day, or 1 day it was only. If you're in the UK, the first episode, blah, blah, blah. It was released yesterday for you in the US, like evening, Eastern time, 9 p.m. Well, looks like Christmas came early. The Fallout account teased, with footage of the Sphere in Las Vegas revealing the date change. Yeah, it started. I'm gonna wait till all episodes are out. I don't like to wait every week. That's why I hate Pluribus, and I still want to see what's happening in Pluribus. You know, the Apple show, which everybody is praising to the highest heavens. I think it has a lot of retard plot holes, but whatever. My mom interviewed people for my cousin, who is an assistant director at a hospital. What? This shouldn't be called Fallout. No, it is Fallout, but it has major flaws, let's put it this way. It's like, you can, I said that multiple times, you can watch the season 1, just watch it through and don't think too much about it. Just don't think too much about it. Just you know, just consume it in that sense. Man, if you turned everyone down from interviews, it wouldn't change much. My leads take weeks to give the okay and hire. And the good ones already have a job at the point anyway. Yeah, so if nothing's gonna change, I'm gonna make money, you're gonna have more time. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. But yes, season 2 started. The ending of season 1 was like, okay, interesting. I want to see more, but yeah, kind of a cliffhanger there. But still. Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection launches March 27, 2026. All competing with GTA 2, huh? Good luck on you. Brother Action RPG Collection Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection will launch for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam on March 27, 2026 for about $40 US. I never actually heard of Mega Man Star Force. I have no idea. I've never seen footage of it. But I find it just interesting to report that. And those are the titles included in this collection. Mega Man Star Force Leo, Force Dragon, Force Pegasus, Force 2 Zerker X Ninja, Force 2 Zerker X Saurian, Force 3 Black Ace, Force 3 Red Joker. It's crazy how many Mega Man Star Force are out there. I never heard of them. But now you have it in a collection. $40. If you're a big Mega Man fan, that's for you, for sure. I think this Mega Man looks silly. Too much anime stylish in that sense. Not mine. But that shows you that Capcom takes it seriously. They're saying is like they want to make Mega Man as big as Resident Evil. 2 weeks ago, they kind of released information, and a week ago released a trailer of the newest Mega Man. What was it called? Dual Drive or some overdrive, double overdrive, something like that. It looks like a very generic Mega Man, but now they show you, giving you a more content for your PC and the newer consoles. Xbox One, which is interesting, right? Xbox One and Steam and all those platforms, right? Maybe they take themselves too serious, trying to make a Mega Man as big as Resident Evil. But you have to start somewhere, and that's maybe the start. Like, initializing this Mega Man Resident Evil bigness. Not mine, but there you have it. News about that. Where is Japanese only? These games still run great on PS4. Oh yeah, but I mean, it's not gonna... We can just take a little glimpse, I guess, in a trailer here. Don't know what they mean with normal buster, max power buster. Looks like mobile games, if I'm gonna be honest. Or maybe those were mainly released on Game Boy Advanced. It looks like a lot like Game Boy Advanced. When I look especially at this very Game Boy Advance-ish. So I didn't research because I don't have time to research everything in detail. Might be only a Japanese exclusive, might be only on handhelds, I don't know. But for $40, kind of a good collection. Price-wise, not too shabby. Apple TV is getting F1 racing exclusively. That's the only reason I have a sub. You're a F1 racing guy, Haste? Gay. I tried watching season 1 of Fallout and got too bored after 2 episodes. I never watched any more. I mean, I don't blame you. It got better when the ghoul was more invested in the show. But other than that, I really hated the black dude, not because he's black, but because the brotherhood part of it was very retarded depicted. And he was one of the brotherhood guys. And he becoming this new super soldier in his suit. That part like really annoyed me, you know. The rest was, like I said, okay. Even Kotaku is not happy, it seems, with Metroid Prime 4, the newest one. Not too happy, at least. Oh god, there was once even more talking in Metroid Prime 4. It's pretty sad to see Metroid Prime 4 Beyond already fading away just a couple of weeks on from its release. Slipping out the charts already and failing to make much of an impact after an 18-year wait. It feels like something of a death knell for Samus 3D Adventures. Universally recognized as the game's worst choice, for the fourth installment in the splendid Metroid Prime franchise has incessant nattering from the range of NPCs who seem to be there simply to irritate Samus, and she tries to get on with her exploring, shooting, and scanning. Samus' wordless responses start to feel like the most remarkable act of passive aggression as her gabby companions refused to take the hint. So it really beggars belief that there was once an intention for there to be even more. YouTuber Beerborg, who will hopefully end up with more than 24 subscribers by the end of the day today, has uploaded all the conversations coming from the base camp during the game, which in the released version are mercifully limited about 7.5 minutes. That then follows a further 33 minutes of talking that was cut from the game, containing a whole lot of banality that's supposed to be scare quotes banter. Yeah, I was never into Metroid Prime games. I tried. I bought the first one on GameCube back in the days. I hated everything in it. It didn't feel to me like Metroid at all. But many people liked it. That's why it got now the fourth game in the series. But it seems like Nintendo didn't understood their own franchise anymore. Because Metroid, at least the original ones, Metroid and Super Metroid, was this darkish, grimmish, like no word exchange stuff, you know? The only words you saw on screen was when you got a new weapon or a weapon upgrade, new missiles, suit upgrades and all that, right? Other than that, you had zero dialogue in the game pretty much, right? And now you have some dude in a kind of a Metroid suit, but he's chatting to you all the fucking time and trying to tell you how you should play and all that. Why? Isn't Metroid like this still dark, grimmish shooter thing? I don't get it. But there you go. They cut 33 minutes out of the game. Even they realized in their head, yeah, it's too much talking, but still, 33 minutes is a lot to cut out. Yep, I'll watch F1 at 3 a.m. Well, you're a weirdo, Haste. You and your body pillow. Maybe you have a Michael Schumacher body pillow? I don't know. All right, before I leave, something funny from an interview yesterday. Guy was typing the question I asked in ChatGPT. Not only could I see him typing. That's not funny. That's sad. That's sad. It was probably even like a personal question. What do you like to code most? ChatGPT, what do I like to code most? What languages are out there? Then he told you maybe, wait a second, I have to think. That's sad. That's really sad. You should hire him, just for the fun of it. But also he was wearing glasses and you could see it reflected as he typed. I've got to go do another interview, lurking and muted while that goes. How can you hear me when I'm muted? What's the point? Well, he was a Microsoft Azure engineer, and he couldn't tell me anything about Azure. He probably was on paper an engineer. Most likely was only on paper an engineer. OFP. You should hire him. Everything is burning. No, he's an engineer. He is an engineer. Everything is going to be all right. More Capcom news. Pragmata, seemingly off to a strong start at its added to over 1 million wish lists worldwide. A game's success will pretty much always be determined by how many copies it sells and subsequently how much money it makes its publisher. But these days, a good place for a title to start is by being added to the potential customer's wish list. And Capcom has announced today that its upcoming Hack 'em Up, is that like the new genre? Hack 'em Up? Oh, whatever. Pragmata has already been added to 1 million wishlists worldwide. This, of course, is incorporated data from all platforms and storefronts, including the PS5. Yeah, still, we are about 4.5 months away from its release, a little bit more than 4.5 months from its release, and 1 million on the wish list. That just shows, is a little indicator that people are waiting for this. People most likely want this to be a thing already, and so Capcom can adjust their sales and all that. Maybe when it's gonna reach a milestone, a self-set milestone at Capcom, I don't know, 5 million before the release, they're gonna make it on release date a little bit cheaper for everybody. We have seen all those little things. I am waiting for this game. It looks interesting, giving me vibes a little bit of Dead Space combined with what was the game? I forgot the name. I played it a lot, but I forgot the name. Wait a second, guys. What was the name? I forgot. The Souls-like game with fucking hell. With the robots, which you had like similar suits and all that. But you have your companion, the AI android here, the girl that has like some psychic abilities. It's more like hacking abilities. So it's going to involve a lot of pieces, puzzles and all that. Looks just interesting and looks very intriguing to me. Metroid. Nah, what Metroid? Zone of Enders? No. It's a newer game. I don't know why it's slipping me. I have played both titles. I have both titles. I think I still have one installed on UrhG. Not Warframe. Warframe is gay. Very gay. The Surge. Yeah, there it is. Warframe is not Souls-like. The Surge 1 and 2. Surge 1 and 2. One of the very few games which is very Souls-like that I actually like. Yeah, sure you were. Sure. But yes, I'm kind of excited for this one. Not hyped, but excited. Oh, Elma. It reminds me of Demon X Machina. Maybe. People are shitting themselves over this new movie, upcoming movie. At least it feels like on social media. Steven Spielberg's mystery UFO movie finally revealed in its first trailer. We're not going to watch the trailer. Link down below. You can watch it for yourself. At long last, we know what Steven Spielberg's next movie is. The director and studio Universal Pictures have kept the details on the 2026 project close to the vest. And all we really knew was it was a sci-fi film about UFOs. Now we finally have a trailer for the film titled Disclosure Day, which is attached to the screenings of Avatar, The Fire and the Ash. I wanted more to talk about Steven Spielberg here. I think he had his time. I think his peak is over. Whatever he is doing, he's not this everlasting, never going down director and producer. He had some great movies in the past, but I think this one is not gonna be good just because it's Steven Spielberg. Trailer looks whatever. Disclosure Day. The whole theme is like lame in my opinion. It tries to piggyback on this disclosure stuff about UFOs. It tries maybe to incite kind of a fear into people, like additional fear, because many people are fearing, oh, Disclosure Day is coming upon us. What is the government allowing us to know about the UFOs and all that bullshit? And I think he's piggybacking on that a lot and invading our minds, our mentality towards this topic. I think there are UFOs out there. I think government knows more than they are telling us. They are never going to tell us the whole truth. That's just how governments work. That's how they can keep their power, by letting you know less than they know. And yes, I think might be a good movie, but I'm not looking forward to this at all. I just wanted to point out, like, Steven Spielberg is not the name that it once was. That's all I can say. Emily Blunt looks good. When you watch the trailer, she looks weird. She starts to do this Hollywood weirdness look. I think she has done a few things in her face. She starts to look weird. She starts to look Hollywood weird. I think the last movie I saw from with her is End of Tomorrow. Was it End of Tomorrow? The movie with Tom Cruise, where the day repeats over and over again. You know. So yeah. There she looked still very good. I think it was her, right? Pretty sure. Even geniuses run out of ideas, but the government is our friend, right? Oh yeah, totally. Trust the government. They are here to help you. She's starting to look like a lizard. She does. I like her in Cesario. Cesario, or the 2003, I think it was Cesario. And there was a Cesario 2. Never saw that one. Was she playing in the second one? But yeah, go watch the trailer and decide for yourself if that's gonna be something for you. I just don't like the mentality of some certain fanboys on social media. like pretending, oh yeah, it's gonna be the shit. Yeah, maybe it's gonna be just shit. Who knows? Just like this. Sucker Punch. It's gonna take a punch. Sucker Punch Productions co-founder Brian Fleming departs. Sucker Punch Production co-founder Brian Fleming will leave the studio after 3 decades, passing the reins over to new studio heads and longtime creative and technical leaders Jason Connell and Adrian Bentley. Hey Bentley, it's you. Sony Interactive Entertainment announced. Over the past year, Brian has worked closely with PlayStation Studios to ensure that Sucker Punch was in the best hands, moving forward with a strong foundation for the studio's continued success. That was a good joke. Good joke there, Sony. Sony Interactive Entertainment said in the announcement. Starting January 1st, longtime creative and technical leaders Jason Connell and Adrian Bentley will step into new roles as studio heads, continuing to guide the team's focus on ambitious, character-driven experiences that define PlayStation Studios. Connell served as a creative director on the Ghost franchise, while Bentley led the studio's engineering and production efforts as technical director. Nate Fox will continue to serve as Sucker Punch Production co-creative director. According to Sony Interactive Entertainment, Sucker Punch Production remains dedicated to crafting new adventures that capture the imagination of players everywhere. Oh, sure. Ahoy, Mrs. Sarge. Thank you for the gifted out of nowhere. And another one. What's going on with her? She doesn't... Did she even say hi? Just throwing money around here? What the fuck? Much appreciated. Unfortunately, no alerts because I'm gonna tell you in a second why that is. So how alerts work on pretty much any system, any streaming service, etc. If you connect your API, an API is just like a connection point of a certain data exchange from your browser, from your system, OBS, to that very platform, right? With certain data points telling you what is happening right now. And there are alerts you can make alerts for subscriber gifted, rants, messages in general. Everything is like logged behind the API. And an API of Rumble was always doing good so far, actually worked pretty fine in general since they put it out there almost 2 years ago now. But since a week or so, the API also wants to be verified. You might have seen it on Rumble, by the way, that you need to click sometimes on this I am human on the cloud system there. Because it didn't believe that the exchange of DNS server information was legit human, you know? So yeah. They broke it. They broke their own API, like the main tool that shouldn't require any verification. They want human verification. Weird. She goes back to cooking. Okay, Mrs. Sarge. Thank you very much for the 2 gifted. Speaking of gifted, nobody needs to gift. But everybody who gifted and who will gift, if they want to gift in December, they are in a Wheel of Fortune for the new upcoming painting figure. I'm gonna paint another figure. Hopefully it arrives very soon. And this one I'm gonna give away. Just as a little bit later as a Christmas gift, but I think I want just to give back to certain people. Just saying. Gift is fellowship. Can we get a retard helmet emoji, Ike? You can make one. I have still some emoji spots. Haste. Thank you very much. You are already in. You already gifted in December. Just saying. Just saying, dude. The Meg got it. Yes, we got it. Ike in a helmet. Not me in a helmet. He meant a helmet emoji. Ike. He asked me, right? I hope. Anyhow, back to the sucker punch issue here. I have many problems with like certain statements in this article, especially about success. There is no success. Ghost of Yotai is Ghost of Nobody. It's gonna remain Ghost of Nobody. Nobody's gonna care for that anymore. They might make more money, actually, if they go in this game for $10. But it would be a signal that they admit, yeah, it is a flop. It is a fucking flop. Ghost of Nobody is a big flop. And when GTA developer Rockstar announced, or delayed rather, yeah, we're gonna not release our game in October this year. That was now half a year ago. Especially Nate Fox, yeah, that was his name. Nate Fox was super happy. The whole team, the whole Sucker Punch company was super happy. Gay happy, actually. That the delay was done by Rockstar, because that gave them a little chance to make a little bit money back somehow. You know, they were super happy. They had a little party going on at their places with some champagne, with probably a gay orgy. Who the fuck knows? I just assume, because Sucker Punch is very gay these days. And the success was still not there. Would have been cooler if Rockstar have managed to release it in October. Nobody would have bought even Ghost of Nobody. Weird. So yeah, I don't know why Brian Fleming is really leaving. I assume though, because they saw what is being done with this franchise. I'm a little bit reluctant to call it a franchise, because they are really not connected to each other at all. Still, they have not managed to connect anything besides one side story that mentions a warrior 2 centuries ago and all that nonsense. So yeah, I'm a little bit reluctant to call it franchise. No success. I think he is leaving because he saw what is happening in his studio, and that this studio is like kind of done. They might redeem themselves if they make a good Ghost game, but at this point, what are you really gonna do, like, story-wise? The first one was really good story-wise. It has a redemption arc and all that, the hero's journey. Gameplay-wise, Ghost of Nobody is okay, but story-wise, it's short. It's all just retarded. Here I was just existing, and now I've been recruited into Tardium. Well, you're already following the channel, right? So you already are a retard. And you should be an embarrassed retard, because I tried to watch the last Meg show, but only Meg talking. I missed some sounds in the background, like game sounds in the background. She laughed to jokes in the game. Nobody heard. That was really retarded. Ike is sure into gay. Yeah, that's why I like you having here, Haste. Very simple. I'll proudly be a tardy. I bet you're proud. I bet you're proudy tardy. Yeah, Rumble app is fire, dumpster fire. Watch it over the browser. Watch it over the browser, that's all I can say. But yeah, what do you think? Is Brian Fleming departing on a schedule they made up already long ago, before the Ghost of Nobai debacle and this fucking success? I think he's leaving ship before it goes under, having like a better resume. That's just my opinion. That's just my retarded opinion. Now a little bit about loot boxes. I hate them. You should hate them too, because usually loot boxes in any game, you don't know what's inside. But usually you also have to pay for any kind of loot boxes. And in my opinion, that includes all those booster packs in real life, for card games, by the way. But also like booster packs in the Warcraft game, Hearthstone, or Stonehearts, or whatever it was called. Played it for a few months. Where you can also buy the decks, the booster decks, and you have no idea. You're investing money, you have no idea what you're going to get, you know? I never liked that those mechanics. If it's a game that has it inside it, but you don't pay for it, like with real money, I'm kind of okay with it. But if you have to pay for it and you don't know what's going on, it's just gambling. It's very, very simple. But this whole issue now globally, it's I think they try to connect it. They try to use or abuse this issue for upcoming verification mechanics overall. Brazil, a loot box ban for under 18s. In September 2025, Brazil adopted a youth online protection law, which includes a lot of similar stuff like the UK law, the Safety Online Safety Act. It has very, very same phrasing in some parts, actually, just in Portuguese. One aspect of which is to prohibit loot boxes in video games aimed at or are likely to be accessed by children and teenagers. The lower house of the legislature actually attempted to, but failed prior to adoption, to water down the loot box prohibition to specific design restriction and harm minimization, an arguably more practically achievable approach. The ban will take effect from March 2026, but the implementation details, such as whether and how to conduct age assurance, have yet to be revealed. Yeah, that's the point, the last phrase there. How do they know who is a child, who is a minor, who is a teenager? Well, we have to check everybody. And since it's like a law, since it's like over all the games, you need some kind of online verification, you know? How about we connect it? How about we connect it to a digital ID? It's just looking pretty bleak for the whole online world. And Brazil is included in the Agenda 2030. Everything needs to be controlled. This brings to mind Belgium, the only country that tried to, but failed to ban loot boxes because the gambling regulator had little to no resources to monitor and enforce the law. Which is true, but they were the first ones to like, and I think because of FIFA, they took FIFA as the main example back then. Because even in FIFA, you had loot boxes for whatever reasons. But you have to put stuff in law, so it's going to be easier later on when every country is on board with all those regulations, online safety acts. And the USA is no stranger to that. COSA, I'm going to remind everybody, Kids Online Safety Act and the Screen Act include all those verification mechanics, all those recommendations, all those demands, and all those little law pieces for the verification process. It's going to be all interconnected. Sooner or later, we're going to be global citizens, one ID to rule them all. And the cards get phased out. Or even worse, FIFA and Madden Ultimate Teams that are only for the year. Yeah, there you go, FIFA again. Let's go to Ever Eaten here. Australia games with loot boxes must be age rated at least 15 plus. From 2 September 2024, Australia has required games with in-game purchases linked to elements of chance, so paid loot boxes, to be rated at least M, meaning not recommended for under 15s. This rule applies both to games released on or after that date and, importantly, also to games that released previously that subsequently changed their loot box offerings, such as by adding new loot boxes and adding new prizes to existing loot boxes. Well, now it's easy for Australia, at least, Now it's at least easier for Australia because the new laws are already in place. The new digital IDs or online IDs are already in place. They now know better who is a minor, who is a teenager. So they can go directly to all those companies and demand from them. Just overall demand. You need to have a system in place that the minor just can't use your game. Plain and simple. What 15-year-old has a credit card? I think you would be surprised these days, Haste. I think you would be surprised. Just in the same way, like, what 15-year-old needs a smartphone that costs $800, $900,000 US? What teenager needs that? I think you would be surprised these days. Craziness, man, I'm telling you. This whole article is filled with more information about other countries too, and small pieces. And it's just not looking good for us, man, because it shows you that there is a clear agenda, a clear path to everything here. It needs all to be under control. And how you do that, there's only one way. The more countries have like those online safety acts, the easier it's going to be to interconnect all of them together. Just make an online ID. Maybe use the Google one. Who knows? Maybe the Google one will be interconnected with Palantir in the future to manage like the data points easier, because the, Palantir is very good with that. I won't say anything. Ahoy, Gapstat. Well, I don't know how it's really in Belgium, right? If you're going to be excluded in certain games with loot boxes, Gap. If you don't verify your age. But yeah. That's a good news though. This next one gives me more hope again. It is one of my arguments why I'm okay with 15 plus no loot boxes. I'm for no loot boxes in general, if you have to pay for them. No. That's just gambling in general. It's just plain and simple gambling. You have no idea, and they can manipulate the system. So it's even like worse than gambling. A reporter suggests Half-Life 3 will be a Steam Machine launch title. If you can take your mind way back to the beginning of 2025, you might remember a fresh wave of rumors suggesting that Half-Life 3 was finally reaching the final stages of production and could be announced and or released at any moment. Now, though, 2025 seems to set come to the close without any official news of a game fans have been waiting literal decades for. That doesn't necessarily mean a Half-Life 3 announcement and or release isn't imminent, though. On the contrary, veteran journalist Mike Straw insisted on a recent Insider Gaming podcast that everybody I've talked to are still adamant Half-Life 3 is a game that will be a launch title with the Steam Machine. For real this time? Trying the long-awaited Half-Life 3 to a major Half-Life 3 to a major hardware push that has already been announced for an early 2026 window certainly sounds plausible, given previous leaks about the game's advanced state of development. But there are still some reasons to doubt Straw's adamant sources here. For one, Straw admitted that the previous information he had received on potential Half-Life 3 launch and or announcement dates was not reliable enough to report in detail. I had been told a date. I was not going to report that date because they weren't 100% confident in that date, he said. That date has since passed. I mean, it would make sense, and it would even make sense. That's just a suggestion from me at Valve. How about you give the game for free if somebody buys a Steam machine from you? Or for that matter, even a Steam Deck. How about you give them the game then for free? When the Steam machine is going to be launched, everybody who buys it gets Half-Life 3 for free. Would ease a little bit the pain because it's gonna be priced at least probably at $700 the Steam machine, and with rising RAM prices, it would make even more sense to get people to buy the Steam machine, have an incentive to buy the Steam machine. Maybe give everybody who has a Steam machine an early access 1 week or something like that. I think then you would really sell a lot of Steam machines, actually. Because many fanboys are really waiting for Half-Life 3. I would also like to enjoy a Half-Life 3. Just to be clear here. I'm not gonna pay an insane amount of money for such a game. Just because I want to see what's going to happen in the story. But I think you would sell the Steam machine quite well. And then when people have the Steam machine, they're going to buy more of your Steam store. No, that's not a free. But that's my idea. That's my idea. Haste. That's my idea. My payload was on my son's Xbox account when he was 16. Steam Machine 2026, year of Linux. Xbox brother make the jump to Steam Machine. Yeah, well, Xbox is gonna be only an app, so no biggie there. No biggie there. That's just my ideas, and it would make sense at least to launch it with the Steam machine. What do you think? Is that possible? Is that game even been made at all? We all don't know. None of us have seen like legit confirmed any footage of it. Disney won't work with Roblox due to its child safety concerns, report states. Concerns over child safety are stopping Disney from collaborating with Roblox, a new report has revealed. With 151 million daily active users, Roblox is one of the biggest games in the world, if not the biggest. Still, worries over how safe Roblox is for its enormous audience of players, many of whom are under the age of 18, remain off-putting to Disney, a new Variety report has highlighted. While some had suspected Disney was avoiding Roblox due to its $1.5 billion investment in rival gaming platform Fortnite, sources told Variety that Disney was instead avoiding Roblox specifically because the company did not believe the larger platform was safe at this time. Disney is avoiding Roblox. That's how bad it is when Disney is avoiding Roblox. Disney, who I would not say it's child-friendly. It always depicted itself like super child-friendly. But you might know that in many, even older animations, you can spot the word sex, or I think penis in some regard too. You know? I mean, I know just certain people inserted that, and it just slept through the fingers of the quality control, so to say, for sure. It was not like a group effort or the studio effort to insert those words. But my point is, Disney has a lot of weirdos themselves, you know. But it's so bad with Roblox that even Disney says like, nah, we gotta keep our distance from this one. We gotta keep our distance from this one too. Disney just hates competition. That's why they killed Michael Jackson. What? I'm still not convinced that Michael Jackson touched any kids, really. Oh, dear Sarge. Why is Roblox so popular? I'm gonna tell you right away. You should have like a little bit inside of Roblox, meaning a lot of bots, just like on Rumble. Let me check Rumble front page, just to tell you who is a bot. Probably one of those cocksuckers is on. Probably. Yeah, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. It's gonna happen though. Don't worry. Soon enough. Just bots, you know. Because I'm not suggesting go try it out, Roblox, but I didn't saw a lot of players when I tried it out to see if I can type in the word schlep, because supposedly the word schlep was banned, because one user who was very big into Roblox and made a little reportage, a little documentary about how bad it actually is. He logged in, I think it was him maybe, logged in, and in 8 seconds he spotted a dick and all that stuff. And he got banned and all that, and supposedly when you just typed in his name, his username, you got also muted and all that. I wanted to test it out. It was not the case. It was not the case. And I didn't saw dicks immediately, but it was very empty. It was very empty. Maybe those weirdos chats are more full when you can see dicks. Why are people into dicks? It looks so cheap. It is so cheap. That's good, not seeing dicks. And here I was thinking you like dicks, Haste. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. For now, at least, Roblox fans shouldn't expect anything similar to the report continues. That's despite Roblox's far larger audience. Fortnite average between 30 and 40 million daily users, and the platform playing host to other large brands such as Sonic the Hedgehog and Squid Game. Fortnite is gonna collaborate with everybody who is putting money in it. With everybody. Absolutely everybody. The newest hype is, by the way, Kim Kardashian. If you want to keep up with it, you can have Kim Kardashian skin. Isn't that great? I still don't know why Kim Kardashian or the Kardashians in general got so big. It's just bitches. It's just bitches doing family stuff, having fake asses, having fake lips, and probably some of them having fake tits. And one dude has everything. All fake. I forgot. Did he cut his wiener off or not? Weirdos. They got plastic surgery, but enhancements. Yeah, that's what I said. Fake asses. Following significant sustained criticism of its player safety protocols and amid multiple lawsuits, Roblox has added a series of stricter requirements designed to limit who its young audience can interact with. Most recently, the platform added facial age verification to limit communication features in select countries, with a US rollout to follow. Oh, that's not even in the US yet. Yeah, you might like it or not like it, the fact, but the US is a big child predatory territory in general, unfortunately. You can't claim the Saudis are big in... I mean, they are probably big in that too. But child molestation, child abuse is very, very big in the US. So why are you waiting with the rollout there, Roblox, huh? Why? Why? It's just weird to me, just weird. But yes, again, even Disney doesn't want to touch that. Isn't that fucking weird? Isn't that weird? The Kardashians cater to Middle America. Chloe was the ugly one and she got her nose done. The ones that watch Honey Boo Boo and Duck Dynasty. I mean, I know of Honey Boo Boo only because of South Park. I don't watch that shit. Duck Dynasty might be more intellectual than Kardashians. I don't fucking know. But yeah, people are being dumbed down. I mean, sometimes you need that too. After certain days, work days and whatnot. You want just to go relax on your couch, maybe in your bed, and just calm your mind down with absolutely nonsense. Maybe, I don't know. But yes, I never saw the appeal in the Kardashians. They seem to me like gold diggers all the fucking time, and she, Kim Kardashian, being like this mega star. What did she achieve in life, really, in that sense, for other humans, for society? Was there anything like in that sense? I don't think so. I don't think she cured any cancer. Let's put it that way. You can literally sex traffic children in Los Angeles on the Figueroa block. Newsom and Karen Bass don't do shit about that. Yeah, that might be the entry point. And then they are going to be spread out from there to the rest of the US. Human trafficking is a thing. That's the point. And children, because many weirdos globally in general are being very desired by the biggest of them weirdos. Video game physical software and hardware sales just had to the worst November in the US since 1995. November 2025 was a shockingly terrible month for video game sales in the US. While we traditionally think of November as a huge sales month, with Black Friday and all, November 2025 was the worst November in video game hardware unit sales and the worst in physical software dollar sales in the US has since 1995. Yeah, I mean, sorry that I couldn't get into the US earlier at all. I tried. But yeah, you don't want me to spend money in your country, so whatever. Hardware, more specifically, hardware spending was down by a whopping 27% year over year to $695 million. The lowest hardware spending total for November since 2005's $455 millions. Even worse, unit sales reached 1.6 million, which is the lowest November total since 1995's 1.4 million. And keep in mind, inflation is a thing too. What's going on? With the Nintendo Switch 2, Piscatella says, from the Circana company here, Piscatella says he's watching its sales very closely and offers this analysis of its current situation. With 6 months in the market, it remains the fastest selling video game hardware in the US history. However, part of what was driving that was its availability to be bought during its launch window. Yeah, they tried to scare people at the launch of Nintendo Switch 2, like, oh, we don't know if we have enough units, blah, blah, blah. But everything was all right. Some stores had like to refill their stock and all that. But usually, if you wanted a console on launch, you could have gotten one. So yeah, that was like the biggest sales of this year hardware-wise, for sure. What can I say, man? What can I say? Inflation is a thing. On the software side, we got a little bit more infos here. Things aren't looking much better on the content side. While Circana reports that content spending was up 1% year over year to $4.8 billion, that's with subscription spending rising 16% and 2% growth in mobile. Physical software sales, meanwhile, dropped 14% year over year to the worst November since 1995, the year Circana began tracking them. That's crazy. That's kind of crazy. Because you have to also remind that's 3 decades ago. 3 decades ago. So it's at least double the worth of dollars. At least. Probably more realistically, actually, like 3 times the dollar worth back then. Meaning, if it was... what numbers did we have here up? Here we have 2 decades, $455 million, right? And this is $695 million. So you can double that easy, that number. So you would be $900 million worth in sales back then. If I'm seeing that correctly, that is. But yes, not doing good. On top of all that, it comes that physical games are less and less common because the whole industry is forcing you buy the games on our online store. Waste your money there on the online store. You're not going to own it, but we're gonna pretend that it's in forever in your library. But you never know if it's not gonna be downloadable anymore. If it's just gonna vanish all of a sudden. On Steam, at least, just as a little bit experience, as an experience point, data point. On Steam, I have some games in the library where you can't buy them anymore at all, but I still can download them. The most prominent I know right off the top of my head is Jericho, Clive Barker's Jericho. I played it here on the stream. I love the game. I wish there was a second game. Probably never gonna happen. But yes, I can still download that game. But you can't buy it anywhere. So it's kind of a rarity. I secured it. You can back up all the games. I secured it on my hard drive. The problem is it's like tied to the Steam system. So I need Steam still. So if my system, Windows 10, will not be supported at all in, I don't know, 5 years from now on, how will I be able to play games then in general? That's a different question too, but it's connected. But supposedly, Gabe Newell, the fatty on his yacht, somewhere on the oceans, who owns pretty much Valve and Steam, has like a DRM kill switch, meaning when he's pissed off at all the companies, he can just software-wise just push out a patch that patches every game DRM free. I don't believe that, for the main reason because the publisher decides and the publisher implements DRMs. How Steam would be able just to kill and change all those X's, hard to say, but I mean, maybe. I don't think so though. I don't think so. Sorry, I neglected a little bit the chat here. She married a lawyer. Isn't that achievement enough? Lawyer? Didn't she marry only so far Yi? So far Xbox they sold 1,000 and now 300. I don't even know anyone who owns an Xbox. Well, Haste does. He's a Microsoft fanboy. It's actually a great system since it has GTA 4, Ninja Gaiden Black, and other older backwards compatible titles. Switch 2 was easier to buy than the Switch 1. I don't remember the Switch 1 release, if that was like a big issue with the hardware, because many of the Switch 1 hardware was really good available, at least in my regions. Yeah, but Xbox doesn't have a Nintendo. True, but it does have the rare collection. Yup, inflation is a bitch. Yep, even stopped tipping less. Even stopped tipping less. You mean you started tipping less? What do you mean with stopped tipping less? Like you stopped tipping less, that means you started tipping more. Just asking. I'm just asking question. I'm Jesse Ventura. What was he, governor of Minnesota or something? I'm asking question. I wanted Commodore 64 Ultimate on the page. This one? I think it's just a review of the Commodore. I looked into the article. It didn't look like it's something outstanding. Maybe informational. Informative for you. All right, I'm back. Back. Jericho with my Agia physics card. I should try again Jericho, because the newest RTX series the 5000 series, don't have the physics chip at all anymore. You're gonna have a really, really bad time in Mafia 2. It's gonna add like delay and delay every milliseconds. It's gonna add delay. It's unplayable, literally. You have the most powerful hardware, but the game just requires physics. It's crazy. Switch to Linux. I have Jericho on the 360 physical copy. Oh, that's a good one. I want SteamOS to come out so I can move my gaming PC to Linux. There are a lot of good options now, beers, like Linux Mint. You can get SteamOS, by the way. You have to go kind of the developer route, and it's hidden in some forum links and all that, but you can get to it, actually, the SteamOS. It's possible. Beers, go check it out if you want it so desperately. Yeah, no, all my servers are pretty much Linux at this point, with a couple exceptions. I still have issues with certain games, though. Yeah, my 4800 Super has 32-bit physics compatibility. Not only compatibility, it has still hardware, a little chip. Not like the original chips, but it has a little chip for that. But I don't know why NVIDIA is just messing around. They could very easily just program a little tool into the drivers for everybody who owns 5000 series cards that uses just CUDA cores, because the CUDA cores are very versatile, and you could allocate some of the CUDA cores for the physics calculations. I don't know why NVIDIA is just like, yeah, fuck all of you. No more physics for you. More Fallout stuff. Fallout 5 may be influenced by the TV show. Oh, isn't that great news? Fallout 5 is one of the games currently in the works at Bethesda Game Studios. It's still years away from release, but now Bethesda boss Todd Howard has shared a small update about it. He told BBC that Fallout 5 will be influenced in part by the popular Prime Video Fallout TV show. In short, yes, he said. Fallout 5 will be existing in a world where the story and events of the show happened or are happening. We are taking that into account. Great move there. Mister, it just works. Great move. Just destroy your lore and IP with a mediocre TV show by connecting them together. Good move, man. Really good move. I mean, I'm not gonna pre-order Fallout 5 or buy it on launch day anyway, but still, I think you might piss off quite some fans there, because many fans are really not happy with the TV show. Some fans that are deep in the lore, and the TV show supposedly, I don't know too much about the lore, like too deeply. The TV show supposedly destroys a lot of the lore in general. A good move there, making Fallout 5 connected to the TV show. Which is a little bit weird, though. If it's years away, why you're already connecting it to it? Maybe it's not years and away. Maybe it's going to come out 2027. Who knows? I look for it then. Yeah, go look. NVIDIA probably wanted to cut costs. At the general mindset is don't play old games. Really, Bethesda? Yes, really. I mean, Bethesda is like, it's a company. It's Todd Howard's fucking decision. I think it's not a smart decision, but he is the guy. It just works. There's still so many people that won't play a game. I think that's getting better, but there's still people who are intimidated. he said. They still get to experience Fallout, and I think that's really important because they are now equal fans of the world. Yeah, I mean, I just doubt that because of the TV show you're gonna get new fans. I mean, there are gonna be some, but not in masses. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be in masses. But because it's in the news now since yesterday a lot, you know, the new season, and it's touching New Vegas, you know, I think Bethesda might sell more games right now. But we have to wait for some numbers. Maybe we're gonna hear next week something, or till Friday. Okay, some goodie as at last. Some good news for you guys. Not really. But my vagina.
It is man.
A decade on from Gamergate, how has the games industry changed for women? In 2015, a developer survey from the International Game Developers Association found that 22% of respondents identified as women. Yeah, they identified as women. That says everything. That says, again, everything. Either you are one or you are not. This identification stuff, that's when it started, I guess. That's like Gamergate pushed that fucking narrative of identity policies. Almost a decade later, in a similar survey by GDC, the figure had increased only slightly to 25%. So only 3% more women identified women in the gamers field. Not a lot. But you pushed like crazy the last decade. Like you made demands, you made quotas, so many women you need in your company, otherwise you're a bigot, otherwise you're a racist bigot because women are racist too, just in general. And you managed only to get 3% more. Identified 3% more. Self-identified, of course. But even if the percentage have barely shifted, have things improved for women working in the industry over the past decade, especially since the dark days of the Gamergate era? Maybe not. Frankie Ward, freelancer, presenter for gaming and esports. I think in general, gaming sense, Gamergate still felt fresh in everyone's mind, says Frankie Ward about 2015. Ward says it used to be common to see all-male presenter lineups at esports events, even if there were several women's teams for games like Counter-Strike. She thinks there's far more female visibility now than a decade ago, but challenges remain. Yeah, there's more visibility because you push that shit. You fucking write letters to people, to companies, to those organizers of the events, of the esports events and all that. If you don't include women, if you don't make a women's only blah, 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 of course, everybody's a woman who identifies a woman again. You are a bigot. We need to eradicate your event. We need to boycott your event. I'm going to talk to every game journalist if you don't make women's spaces. That's how it went for now a decade. They have learned nothing, though, still. Resisting our presence in games or having an idealized idea of how a woman should appear in a game is being pushed to the forefront by algorithms that bait for engagement and don't tell the full story. Bullshit. Bullshit. Algorithms, my ass. You pushed it. You just called it women, you know? But make it ugly and gay all the whole time. You pushed it. People like you who want to be victims all the time and to want to see themselves in the video games and the video games industry and events and esports and all that nonsense. Algorithms had nothing to do with it. If you would have let algorithms decide stuff, it would look still the same and have way more happy people around the globe, you know, way less fucking colliding ideas, and you could still talk to other people with other opinions. These days, that's just not possible anymore. I'm not gonna listen to any fucking female or wannabe female feminist. You know, I will just not care. Yeah, whatever, sure. Go buy your woke games. I don't care. Dragon Age: The Veilguard is still there. Probably again on $10 US sales. Who knows? But no, algorithms had nothing to do with that nonsense. As for esports, I have seen a couple of fully male lineups on broadcast recently, but they are very much the exceptions. Just look at the Valorant VCT broadcast to see women leading how stories are told on screen. Valorant, really? Who the fuck plays Valorant? Oh, some females. some lonely females still play Valorant. I haven't seen Valorant footage since many years now, actually. What a good example. What a good example, Valorant. How many women competitors at SNK tournament? 0. Well, they are not allowed, probably. So 1% women and 2% more men in dresses. Hard to say. Maybe, I mean, those numbers could be even more different. Maybe 1% less women, you know, but 4% additional men in dresses. We don't know. We don't know how it went, Sarge. But the crucial part is you need to see the word identified. You don't just skip over it. That's a crucial part. Watt, who has had 2 children since 2022, also thinks the industry needs to consider how to make the environment more viable for working mothers. I have experience being heavily pregnant. Okay. I have experience of being heavily pregnant on camera and having to work out my own schedule to make sure I wasn't working 16 hours days. Typically, I'm giving very little notice before jobs. What, blowjobs? Which means childcare can be an issue too. Men become fathers, miss one event and head back to work. And I'm not going to care for the rest of the article. Goes on and on about how women really suffer in this industry. It's kind of interesting in general, but it's... yeah, whatever, man. It's a whole mess. This whole article is a big mess. But the first woman who was presented here is blaming kind of like just reality at this point. Sorry that I was born with a dick, lady, and you have a uterus, and you can make babies, and you should care for that. Sorry that the race of human beings are just like that. Sorry for biology. I'm deeply, deeply hurt by this fact. And not all of them are ugly. This blonde one, kind of okay. This one seems all right too. Ward looks also all right. But yes, I'm not going to care for their opinions just because they are women. and giving me their sad stories about how dominant the male gaming is, man. Also, we need to build bridges and get over it. Yeah, but it was never an issue back in the days, man. One of my exes, I got her into World of Warcraft. You know, she then played for a while more than me. I was okay with it. She had fun with the game. We had like not the idea, the mentality of, oh, you have a vagina, you should take a step away from gaming. And if you are a couple and you make a baby together, I just think the mother should care for the baby. But our society has gone astray in some regard, because we have been told now for decades, maybe for a century almost now, that women have to be independent. They need to make their own money too all the fucking time, you know? Oh, now you can make your own money? How about we tax you? I mean, we just need to be fair too. That's how it all started. Because they wanted women to tax women. All fucked up. All fucked up. But if you have like, article is pretty long. I would say 20 minutes you need to offer to spend on it. Amusing stories and sad stories and stupid stories. All of it. I want sexy women in games, and with a bush. Okay, good to know. Everybody with a bush and a vagina, go talk to Elma. How the fuck is a working mother going to make her man a sandwich? Well, that's the work, making the sandwich. Also, why some people say sandwich? Isn't it sandwich? Women working do have unique problems. Yeah, I mean, sure, but still, you try to blame biology. You try to blame reality. You can do that. It's just not going to work out. Just not going to work out. To be honest, I don't care about women complaining about work, since they fought to be miserable like the rest of us. Lots of ugly women. Although it's tough not having two incomes. Yeah, but that's the other. I'm not blaming any woman, but women let that happen in that sense. I'm not a feminist. I don't go out of my way to demand for women the same rights, like the same working rights, because that means also you have the same tax problems. Very simple overall. But yes, today normal family needs two incomes, and because both parents are at work, they need a babysitter, so they need to spend money again. It doesn't work really very well. Our society is falling kind of apart. You need to abolish the IRS. You need to abolish a lot of taxes. That's the first thing you have to do. Have the nanny do it, and wonder why these husbands fall for the nanny. Don't talk about nannies, otherwise you're gonna trigger Dear Sergeant. He's gonna talk to us about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he is banging his nanny, or he banged his nanny. The number one complaint I hear about women working is working with other women. Queen bee stuff. Yeah. No, you're not wrong with it. Women were complaining like, man, I get hard ones when the breeze flows at work. You think I want that? A famous complaint from working women is like the payment gap, right? But I've seen surveys where women were like not liking to work longer for more payment too. You know? What I mean is men are usually more open to just do some overtime. They are just like that. We dick holders and dick owners are just more open to doing a little bit overtime work. Women like more, yeah, it's 5 o'clock, I'm out of the office. Maybe we should talk to a mediocre gamer girl. She doesn't go even into office. Working from home. But yes, we should go a little bit back in time. Make a woman not so much dependent on an own income. I mean, if you are single, of course, you somehow need to make money. Of course. But maybe something is very wrong in our society. Arnold tried to prove he was straight by being a rabid pussy hound since he transitioned into freedom fucker. We see through it. Joking about popular mispronounced words like sandwich, police, and gorilla because that's shit's funny. Is that a black thing? Did it started with the black people? Sandwich? Let me ask you a question, Sarge. Are you the word police or me? That's the Arizona way to spell sandwich. Police 50. Oh, big. Women should just stay home where they belong. We would have almost zero problems if that happened. Yeah. The suffragette movement was a thing, though. They wanted to abolish alcohol. At the same time, also, they wanted to work wherever they wanted to work too. Strangely enough, I don't see a lot of canal workers go fucking into sewers, cleaning the sewers and shit. Yeah, I work 70 hours work weeks, and every woman I've ever worked with tell me to leave. I actually do go into the office once a week. She corrected herself. I actually do go into office. Well, only once a week, but I still do. Maybe because it's a requirement to keep your job this day of the week. I don't go into office anymore, but I still work 70 hours in a week a lot of times. Oh shit. You come get radicalized? No, he peeks a little bit into the show sometimes and leaves after 10 minutes already. That's big Z stuff. The women at work always want to recreate the family at work. Yeah, I mean, that's maybe because of the nature, you know, because women, they want actually family. Everybody actually wants family, but the man wants to provide more for the family. They don't need to be with their family all the time. It's just, again, biology, probably. Let me just ask you this. Not ask. Haste. Let me ask you a question. Don't ask me, man. That's brutal. One trouble with the SAHM culture being viable is that we put less pressure on being married in our youth. Women need to work to take care of themselves until marriage. Yeah, I mean, marriage. Yeah, let's say like before, maybe after the Second World War. That was just an upcoming thing, more and more and more. But before that, like, you married very early, as soon as possible, because you needed to provide for yourself somehow. As a woman, find yourself a good husband, as a good husband, having a good wife who can provide for the child at home, make you food when you come home, and not beat her to fucking death. Slap that bitch. But yes, society again. It's a whole societal issue. So until marriage, these days, the bar for the age is getting higher and higher. Putlock's book reading clubs. I live with Sarge. You do. Yeah, that's a job on itself. Stupid women. Abolish alcohol was a great idea, not. I mean, humanity, since they discovered alcohol, it was never really like that big of an issue, right? People just drank. Even children in Germany, children meaning like in the teens, they started very early to drink beer. And it was never really like this big issue. Then the suffragette movement happened. They did work in the 30s, 40s, 50s until marriage, but did not have authoritative roles. The reason I have to go is for the fifis of the upper management, nothing to do with actual productivity. There are so many distractions here, so annoying. The black people like? Yes, the black people. I don't know. I've never seen like a white dude or girl saying, "Let me ask you a question." Children be drinking beer? Yeah, go look it up. Go look it up. It was like, I don't know, like the years till it was like maybe until First World War, something like that. But yeah, that was a common thing for teenagers to drink beer too in Germany. Maybe it was like from the Middle Ages on, because the beer was more clean than certain sources of fresh water. It was somewhat connected with that. I have definitely heard with white people say X instead of ask. They're either raised in the hood or trying too hard to be black.
Black girl magic.
Black girl magic on the white people right there. Maybe black people are just raving fans of Lizzie Borden. I don't know who that is. Weren't like French children drinking wine during lunch? Yeah, with the French, they started also early back in the days with wine, but not like drinking whole bottles together with the family. But a certain amount of wine can help your gut biome. Also Futurama. The Xing, so gross. My mother would make us pronounce ask repeatedly if that came out of any of our faces. Wine drinking causes surrender. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Guys, I'm gonna try and tell you again. Maybe I should show you. Give me a sec. Uno secundo. Let me do it here. I have to find it. I ordered it. It needs to arrive. I think I'm gonna paint this one first, actually. Go back to this screen. There we go. So I started painting figures, all right? I'm looking for good figures to paint. This one is quite big, 180 millimeters, 90 millimeters. How many inches is that? I go look it up, or let me. What? That can't be. Something wrong here. Something is wrong. Something wrong. Something wrong. Oh, now I know why. About 7 inches high. So I ordered this figure. I'm gonna paint this as soon as it arrives. I'm gonna make it maybe a premium stream. I don't know. Depends on when it's gonna arrive. Hopefully not a premium stream, not excluding anybody. And this is gonna be a late Christmas gift to people who donated a gifted. So just pointing that out, if you want to be into this raffle Wheel of Fortune thing, one gifted get you in. I'm not asking for any gifted. I just want to inform you. I have some people in the Wheel of Fortune already. If I'm not gonna get any gifted anymore this month, I'm not gonna care. I'm just gonna send this to one lucky winner. I think it's gonna look good. It's quite big, 7 inches tall. But it's gonna need to be 3D printed on order. Looks neat. Hopefully it's gonna look good when I'm done. So if you want to get into the raffle, do it like Sarge just did. Sarge and Mrs. Sarge are, I think, teaming up. Expanding their chances. One gifted is just a higher chance. It's like a bigger share. If I'm gonna out Haste gifted this month 7. So he's gonna have a way higher chance. But I want just to give something back. So I think that's a good method. Printing, let that be printed out on the 3D printer, painting, and send it to a lucky winner. I can never hear someone say any explanation of something wrong without hearing something wrong. Something wrong. Something wrong. Something wrong. I don't think that sounds too similar, though. Maybe you have something weird in your head. Feed pick time. No feed pick. Don't worry. Underage drinking in the UK was widely accepted for a long time. Yeah, maybe the UK had the same thing going on, like Germany with the fresh water not being, or being less good. worse than beer. Italy hasn't won a war since Roman times, and France record of victories in the 20th century equals 0. Wine is bad. I don't know. The Roman Empire has not fallen. It just moved. Just moved to the US. An inch of fun right there. Wow, you mod and paint. Yeah, where's ball of tennis? I mean, you can't see it, unfortunately, really. It's pretty small. But here I put like the shell of the bullet of his special gun we shot in Missouri 1.5 years ago. Yeah, something like that. More like 2 years now. Almost like 2 years. And I painted 3 Space Marines from Warhammer and put them around the shell. Like they are praising and glorifying the shell. 30 millimeters of not miss 300. Yes, I've heard that could be. Just drink light beer all day. That addresses the water issue. Well, there was a newscast where the teleprompter was mucked with. The anchor was reading about a plane crash and read of, oh yeah, something wrong and holy fuck, something wrong. Something wrong. We too low. Holy fuck. Bang ding whoa. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much like that. Pure water like pure blood. What? Anyhow, next stream, hopefully tomorrow, I need to continue Final Fantasy VII. We are at a crucial point. Disc change. I mean, not with the online version of Steam, but disc change, and we're gonna learn about Cloud Strife, that he is actually the real hero. I mean, that was pretty clear. Light beer is great in summer, and it doesn't get you drunk. Isn't that like gay stuff? Light beer in general? Just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. Who killed JF Kennedy? I know it's not a great impression of the governor, Jesse Ventura. He played, by the way, in The Running Man, the original. Gin and tonic is the gay drink. I'm not sure. Alcohol tastes nasty. Well, I'm also not a big fan of the alcohol taste. If it's gonna have like a lot of sugar and I don't taste the alcohol itself, I can drink it. Otherwise, I need to do a special stream. Maybe Christmas stuff, making some money with shots. Who knows? Anyhow, how many people are watching? 20? A little bit more than 20? That Varens raid. Not that anybody of you really cares for whom I gonna raid. But yeah. Let me scroll here through the gaming. A lot of gays. A lot of douchebags. Yeah, I have only one raid target. You can say after the credits. Hi. Anyhow, thank you for being around. I hope you enjoyed the news. I hope you didn't get too much aroused by the gay news, the gamer news. Not like Sarge. Sarge has probably like a hard boner right now. But luckily, we calmed him down with the lesbian female news at the end. So he got flaccid again. Maybe Mrs. Sarge is a little bit unhappy, who knows. Thank you for being around. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for the gifted there, Mrs. Sarge and Haste and Dear Sarge. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, tell me you have no nuts, Haste. Without telling me you have no nuts.